Lesson 15, the working of the UN. Students, we studied about UN, United Nations, which tries to solve conflict between nations. It provides scientific and technical expertise in various fields like agriculture, health, and education. One of the major contributions of the UN has been to provide financial assistance to developing countries to resolve their issues. So UN also gives money to countries which are developing and which are poor. We will study the structure of the UN. The UN Charter has established 6 different organs that serve different functions. You can see in the chart, these are the organs of UN. So the first one is the General Assembly, second the Security Council, third the Secretariat, fourth the Economic and Social Council, fifth the International Court of Justice, and last the Trusteeship Council. So let us study in detail the working and responsibilities that have been bestowed on the main organs, how it works. We are going to study in detail. The first one was the General Assembly. Now what happens in the General Assembly? The General Assembly is the largest body of the UN. It is made of 193 member countries. All the members are in the General Assembly. Each country has one vote. It works like the World Parliament. It provides a platform for countries to put forward their ideas and debate issues. Like you have seen the Parliament session on TV. So it is in international level. So every country can participate and debate and put forward issues. Then they discuss on all these issues. So the Assembly has the right to discuss and make recommendation on any issue covered by the UN's Charter. The routine matters are decided by the members with simple majority vote, and then they do voting. The important decisions require a 2/3 majority. Whatever they are voting, if the decision has to be taken, then it needs 2/3 of the majority people's opinion. The Assembly meets once in a year in regular session that generally run from mid-September to mid-December. This is the time period, and once in a year this meeting is held. It also organizes special sessions every few years on specific topics such as economic cooperation or disarmament. The Assembly can also meet for an emergency session to deal with an immediate threat to international peace. If there is some reason that there is going to be war, so in that case they can have an emergency meeting. At the beginning of every regular session, Assembly's members elect a president to preside over the Assembly. They appoint a president. Now the Assembly has the power to admit a new member to the UN. It also approves the budget for UN programs and operations. So whatever work they want to process, for that they approve a budget. It also elects members to work for certain agencies and on specific programs, particular tasks. It also elects members to work on certain agencies on specific programs, and it coordinates those programs through various committees. Now, star fact is Mrs. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit of India was the first woman to be elected President of the UN General Assembly. It is a matter of pride for India and for women that she was elected the first woman president of UN. Then we come to the Security Council. The Security Council is the most powerful organ of the UN. It is responsible for maintaining international peace and for restoring peace if any conflict arises. If there is any differences between the countries, then it will try to sort it out. Its decisions are final and all members have to abide by the decision. So whatever is decided by the UN, then both the countries have to agree by it. The Security Council has 15 members, out of which 5 members are permanent. The Assembly elects the other 10 members for 2 years term. The 5 permanent members of the Security Council are the United States, United Kingdom, France, Russia and China. These members are the most powerful. Then we come to the Secretariat. The organ is the executive branch of UN. It takes care of the UN programs and policies and carries out day-to-day operations. The Secretary General is the head of the Secretariat and acts as United Nations spokesperson. He is nominated by the Security Council and appointed by the General Assembly for 5 years term. The Secretary General is the most powerful official who takes care of the daily operation of the UN and has a major role to play in setting the organization's agenda in international security affairs. So, this is the work of the Secretariat. Then we come to the Economic and the Social Council. So, it is short form is ECOSOC. Now this organ coordinates the economic and social work of the UN. There are 54 member countries in ECOSOC that are elected by General Assembly for a 3-year term. You remember in General Assembly there are 93 members, so they elect these members. This organ studies and recommends action on international issues like medicine, education, economics and social needs. These are the issues on which they are recommending what to do. It works through various committees and commissions. It helps those people, groups and society which are facing difficult problems. So the main ECOSOC coordinates with specific agencies that provide social, economic and related services. Now we come to the International Court of Justice. It is also called the World Court. It is the judicial organ of the UN. It is located in The Hague, Netherlands. This court listens to cases brought by nations against each other. There are 15 judges that are elected by the Security Council and the General Assembly for a term of 9 years. The court gives the advice to the General Assembly and other bodies of the UN on all kinds of legal matters. Then comes the Trusteeship Council. This organ was established to look into the transition of colony to independence. This organ is no longer needed. Special agencies. The UN has set up several agencies for discharging its various functions. So the first agency is United Nations International Children Emergency Fund, commonly known as the UNICEF. All of you must have heard about UNICEF. Its headquarters is in New York. It works for children. Why it works for children? Because children are future of human race. Our topmost priority should be to provide them with proper education and bringing them up in a hygienic, disease-free environment. But today, over 300 million children remain illiterate. Illiterate means they are not educated, not going to school. Many are victims of serious diseases. This affects their mental and physical growth. The UNICEF helps the countries to solve this major issue and such other problems related to children. The UNICEF collects its money from voluntary contributions and the sale of greeting cards. Many programs have been undertaken by UNICEF in our country for the betterment and upliftment of children. Anganwadi in India is one of these programs. Under this program, children are made to learn, work, play and sing together. Even the mothers are taught the right ways of bringing up a child. They are made aware of the importance of balanced diet and the way of cooking nutritious food. All of you have studied about balanced diet in science? Yes. So many of the villagers, they don't know about all these things. So here they are taught. They are also trained to treat small ailments of children and themselves on their own. There are many diseases that a child inherits from his mother. That is why it is essential to provide female education, which would help them to prevent their children from falling ill because of their unawareness. The UNICEF also undertakes teachers training programs for physically and mentally challenged children. Now the next agency is World Health Organization, WHO. Recently you must have heard about WHO in news. It has its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. This is the organization that helps in improving the health of the people of the world. The WHO helps countries to control epidemics that cannot be totally eradicated. It brings experts from all over the world to discuss common problems and provide their solutions. By its effort and its worldwide programs of vaccination, it has helped to control to wipe out many diseases. And now finding a vaccine for corona is a challenge for WHO. Now we come to the third agency, that is the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO. Its headquarters are in Rome. This is the organization that helps in providing food to all. So what is the work of this organization? To provide food for all. Its main aim is freedom from hunger. There are so many people dying of hunger, starving, they are not getting food. It makes available the resources for improving food production. It is done by providing countries with better seeds, controlling crops and animal disease, and by improving irrigation facilities. Now, how do they improve the irrigation facilities? They improve the irrigation facilities by providing better means of conservation of soil and forest, etc. In case of emergency, FAO arranges food for suffering and needy people. Understood? Now we come to the fourth one, International Labour Organization, ILO. This is the organization that helps the nation in improving the working condition of their people. It tries to sort out problems between governments, employers and workers. Now students, we come to the last agency, that is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is called the UNESCO. It was established in 1946. The main aim of this organization is to help people in the field of education. It provides science education to backward countries. It helps in preserving old monuments and also provides expert training in preservation of ancient art, culture, and architecture. On the whole, it encourages nations to work together in the field of education, science, and culture. This would enable people to respect freedom, justice, laws, and equal human rights for all. It has its headquarters in Paris. This is important, you must remember it. Now we come to the achievements of UN. The UN has been able to fulfill its aim to some extent. Some of the achievements are listed below. First one is it has been able to resolve international disputes peacefully. In many instances, it has tried that the war between the conflicting countries comes to an end and also that no other country joins it. The war between India and Pakistan, Iran and Iraq, Israel and Arab countries, and many such wars were not allowed to grow big because of the efforts of the UN. It has played a remarkable role in arms control, especially by stopping nations from using dangerous nuclear weapons. It has been successful in providing help to all the developing countries in their fight against poverty, disease, and illiteracy. It has also gained tremendous success in improving cultural cooperation among the nations. With the help of its specialized agencies, it has been able to improve food production and provide better working conditions for industrial workers. It has also been successful in providing relief to refugees and the victims of calamity. We should remember one thing, that the success of UN depends a lot on how much cooperation is extended by its member nation. So it is important that we all cooperate and work for international peace and harmony. So students, now all of you can read this chapter again and try to attempt the exercise given in the book. We will discuss the exercises in our next video. So read properly and do your homework. Thank you.